G'day boys. So this week and last, we certainly started to look at long division. Now, it is a tricky method, but it's something that, if you follow the right process, then, you shouldn't have too many errors, okay? The first thing that we spoke about with our long division is the little riddle, or not riddle, but saying that we like to say to remind us of what steps we need to take in solving these, okay? So our actual little riddle or words that we use to follow along are HMS, bring down, okay? Now, we came up with this to help us follow a certain pattern, okay, when we look at long division. Now, for us, it's similar to short division in terms of you ask yourself very similar questions, but the process is just a little bit more step by step. So, first thing we need to look at is the H. What does the H represent? Well, the H represents how many, okay? So we need to ask ourselves, how many times does 4 go into 9? That's the first question we need to ask ourselves. How many times does 4 go into 9? Well, it goes in twice, okay? So we can put a 2 up there. Now, our next step, okay, is M, and M represents multiply. So we now must multiply what our answer is, which for this instance it was number 2, by what we're dividing by. Okay, so 2 multiplied by 4 equals 8, and I'll put that 8 underneath the 9, okay, directly underneath the 9. Now the next step is subtract. So I'm sure you can work out that we now must subtract 8 away from 9. So 9 take 8, okay, equals 1. Okay, so pretty straightforward. Now this would be the same if we were doing short division. If we do short division over here, okay, 904. If we go 4 into 9 equals 2, there's 1 left over, okay, and we put the 1 there. But with long division, we put it underneath like this because we follow this method. How many, multiply, subtract, and then our last step is bring down. This is where we bring down the 0. So we draw in the arrow, okay, and we put this here. Okay, so now we're back to the start again, okay? We've done these 4 steps. Now we've got to go back to the start. Now the start is how many? So again, we ask ourselves, how many times does 4 go into 10? Well, 4 goes into 10 2 times, okay? So we've done that step for a second time. We follow it, okay, by multiplying. So we must multiply our answer, which was 2, by what we're dividing by, which is 4. So then our 8 goes here. Following on from multiply, we must subtract. So 10 take away 8 equals 2. And then our last step is bring down. So we bring that down, which now becomes 24. Once again, we've done these 4 steps. So we've got now another number. We've got to ask ourselves, we go back to the start, how many times does 4 go into 24? 4 goes into 24 6 times. Okay. We then follow it by multiplying. So 6 multiplied by 4 equals 24. Then we subtract. 24 take 24 equals 0. And then bring down. However, this is how we know we've finished the problem, because we've got no more numbers to bring down. Okay. So our answer for 904 divided by 4 equals 226. Okay. Hopefully that's a little bit clearer. Now let's try another one. Okay, let's have another go. Okay, let's go 5 divided by 389. Now this is a little bit trickier. Okay, this is a little bit trickier, this one. So let's give it a go. So remember, H, M, S, bring down. So let's make sure we always follow that pattern. Okay, so the H represents how many. So how many times does 5 go into 3? Well, it can't work. So we put a 0 here. Okay, you still follow this process. Then what does M represent? Well, M, so we've done the how many. Now we've got M, which is multiply. So 5 times 0 equals 0. We then subtract. 3 take 0 equals 3. After subtract, we must bring down. So we bring down our 8. Okay, cool. So we've done all that step. Now, let's go back to the start again. So, how many times does 5 go into 38? Well, 5, if we know our multiples, 5 times 7 equals 35. So let's put a 7 there. So we've done how many times does 5 go into 38? It goes 7 times. We then multiply. 5 multiplied by 7 equals, and I've just said it, 35. So we've now multiplied. And now we subtract, because that's our third step. 38 subtract 35 equals 3. And then we must bring down our 9. So the 9 comes down here. And this now becomes 39. Okay, back to the start again. How many times, how many times does 5 go into 39? Well, 5 into 39 equals 7 times. Okay, then we must multiply. So 7 times 5 equals 35. Good, so we've done that. What follows on from multiplication? Subtraction. So we put a little subtraction sign in. 39 take 35 equals 4. Now, is there any more numbers to bring down? No, there's no more numbers. So this is actually our remainder. And the way that we want you to write your remainders, is by putting it as a fraction. So then we can put remainder, and we've got 4 left over, so 4. And whatever our remainder is our numerator, and whatever we're dividing by, so in this case the 5, that becomes our denominator. Okay, so our remainder is 4 over 5. Hopefully that's cleared that up with you boys and how you do remainders. Okay, so whatever you've got left over, which is 4 in this instance, that's your numerator. Whatever you're dividing by, which is this number here, is your denominator. So our answer for this number is 77 remainder 4 over 5. Hopefully that's cleared a little bit up for you boys, and if you get stuck, please ask questions at school. Thanks.